back on the Eiger. That's right, the Eiger. Just streaking home through the dust and having a great time. And this dust is kind of like the sunset in a lot of ways. And hopefully we'll have kind of a nice one. Just taking off for home after checking out this piece of land that this gentleman owns. My neighbor across the street. And maybe we'll get a nice sunset here on the other side back at the creek. There's these forest fires in Alberta that are just pouring smoke into our area. And that's kind of why I was making the comment about driving through the dust. We finally got this road graded in some reasonable way. And, you know, which is very nice, but it does kick up the dust. I guess they can put some kind of chemical on it here, and that kind of makes it stiff. As we do every night, like kind of like Mr. Rogers. You know, I love Mr. Rogers, and this is kind of our own version of the day is done, and instead of changing out of our shoes and replacing our cardigan with a jacket to go outside and, you know, singing a song, in our case, we lock up the Eiger and the Hawk, and of course ourselves, but really we're talking about protecting the Hawk at all costs. So we do that, and that's just so people won't mistake our road, of course, for, well, our driveway for a road, I should say. So we'll just head down here, we'll take a look and see if there's a sunset tonight to enjoy, and then we'll set about enjoying the rest of our weekend. I'll go in and look at the footage and examine that and see what that all looks like. Again, I shot from face mount 6.0 here, which I'm quite happy with, incidentally. I've looked at some footage from my head, from the top of my head, and then compared that to stuff coming off of my face, and definitely off of the face produces a perspective that I much more enjoy, and I do like it's just lower, and I do like the angle of the lens here. And I really didn't think the sun had gone down yet. I guess I don't know what time it is. It seems to me a few minutes ago when we were here, the sun was up here, wasn't it? I mean, we were just here not that long ago, and I guess it's gone now, or diffused by all the smoke. And you can see it is blue sky here. So this is primarily a smoke from these fires in Canada. Luckily, I can't smell it though, so that's kind of nice. So we'll leave it there tonight, guys. So glad you joined me on my brief ride tonight, and I hope you get out and experience nature. Go find a new place to walk. Go find a new thing to experience. Life is very short, and you never know how much time any of us are going to have here. And the old adage, stop and smell the roses, is so apt. And it's worth repeating it to yourself over and over. Now, for example, we live in Duluth, Minnesota, which is a tourist destination for people from the Twin Cities, in large part in the summertime. But people vacation here all year round. And there are local people who live here their whole lives who have never gone to the spots that the tourists go to, primarily because, well, they're always there and I could go anytime. But you kind of take for granted where you live. I imagine some of you that live in the mountains don't get a big thrill out of looking at a mountain where somebody who lives in a desert might. And what's different makes it interesting and so forth to you. But in almost all cases, when you get out of the city limits, get into the woods, look at things, go places that are different, like we did tonight. It's almost never unsatisfying. You almost always get something out of the experience. Just the way the trees are in the forest, and the places that you look are sometimes going to be like no place else on earth. There was things that we saw today that were unique to that area, that ecology, and I'm not trying to get too grandiose about it, but I'm really asking you to appreciate what you can enjoy outdoors, and do consider taking a child with you. There's no shortage of children sitting in front of a video game system that think that's the beginning and the end of their activities. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy to pry that controller out of their thumbs, but it can be done, particularly if you're their parent or even just somebody who cares for them. Consider doing that. You'll get out a lot out of it, and you may really broaden their horizons. And it's nothing more satisfying than seeing a child light up from something that you showed them that they, heretofore never knew anything about. It's really a great pleasure to do that and to share that with somebody. So I'm just kind of killing time now, but it's never killing time when I'm passing along what I want to pass along to you guys. Thanks for riding with me again tonight, and we'll see you probably next time, maybe even out on the Hawk Skiff, where I try to trap some minnows, find out what's in this lake, and then maybe try to cast a line and catch some of them. So that's for another time. We'll see you guys very, very soon.